What's up, guys? It's Savage Island, and I'm back with another Street Beefs video breakdown. In this boxing bout, we're going to have Fire Chicken versus Steady Eddie. I was asked by Fire Chicken to break down his fighting video, and I'm going to do my best to give constructive advice, and I'm going to pay attention close to the details as best as I can. And just keep in mind, if you're biased towards what I'm, putting out, feel free to hit me up in the comment section. Otherwise, this isn't official. This is just me giving my own opinions on this fight. So how this works is I'm going to go one time through the video, then I'm going to break it down in 3 sections. We're going to go cons, pros, and then the highlights. So we're going to jump in first to watching this video one time through, get a feel for it, pay attention to the details, and then I'll jump into the cons after. So Fire Chicken versus Steady Eddie. Shout out to the Street Beefs community. Face. Let's get into this.
2 undefeated, 1-0.
He's out. He's out. He's done, Danny. You want to continue? He's done. He's done. It's over. Fair win. Good job, guys. Good fight. Good job, guys.
Winner, opponent unable to continue, Fire Chicken.
Good job, guys. Good fight, guys. Good fight.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the cons. So let's move to the next one. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Jumping right into the cons. So a couple of Fire Chicken's cons were very small details, very minor, because this was actually a really technically sound fight. So there wasn't too much for me to pick on, because I believe he probably had some prior training to this. I believe this is his second Street Beefs fight in the boxing ring. So the things I'm going to pick on are very small. The one thing I do notice, and this is small, very small detail, it's not a big issue, it's not a big problem, his footing, Fire Chicken's footing. A lot of the times where, he would engage the rush, standing in the pocket, he would just kind of stand tall. I'm not saying like locking his knees, but really standing tall, where he should have just hunkered down and bent his knees a little bit more, weathering the storm. He was kind of standing in place. And I don't know if that was a tactic of his, but honestly, as a boxer, you want to kind of, be mobile. You want to be shifty, lateral, back and forth, and you want to step off the line a lot. So a lot of his footing to me, which wasn't a big deal. These are things he can fix on his own time, but his footing definitely seemed to me was very, very standing tallish, kind of. So if that makes any sense. His stance seemed unstable, if that makes sense. Fire Chicken's stance seemed unstable, and it's not a big deal. It's not a big issue to really comment on, but I mean, that's something he can fix, like I said, once again. But where it seemed like it was kind of like a shell, or a Philly shell, where his chin would be dug into his shoulder so he could see punches coming, roll them, and tag back. He would bring his hands back up or hand back down. It seemed kind of shifty and unstable, so that's something he could work on as far as a con was his stance. It seemed very unstable. Oh my. See, that was another thing too. So his timing, this is so small, but it's a 50-50. It's a pro and a con, but I'm going to highlight the con in this. Was his timing. If he gets his timing down, see, because it's off by like split seconds or a minor inch, he could do some real damage in the Street Beefs boxing division as a counter striker, because a lot of the punches that Steady Eddie was throwing, man, he should have been punished badly. But man, just fixing the timing. So those are the 3 cons right there, which was Fire Chicken's footing, his stance, and his timing. Very minor things that he can fix on his own time. But let's get into the pros. Whew. All right, let's get into the pros. Now, definitely where I was paying attention more here was there's a lot more pros than cons on Fire Chicken's behalf, because I believe he had to have some sort of training prior to this. Fire Chicken's pros here was he's calm. He is calm. And when I mean calm, like, there could be a fire going on in the building. There could be gunshots outside being, just shot. I mean, there could be, a fight in the midst of the vicinity. He is calm. That is such a hard trait to have inside the ring, where most people would panic and just react. He's very calm, very, very calm-minded, and that's a really good trait to have as a boxer, is to be calm, because it gives you a game plan to work with when you know your opponent doesn't intimidate you. So being calm is a great trait that he has as a boxer. The jab. Fire Chicken, Jesus Christ, that jab that you have is the usage of your jab is very, very good. You have a very good usage of your jab, and I mean, you throw it effectively. Like, you know when you're throwing your jab, how you're going to set up the next punch, the next combo, or if you're going to step off the line. I mean, that jab is very, very vicious. So that's something I like already that Fire Chicken has, is that jab. Jesus. Right here just goes back to what I was saying about the timing on the cons. He's very counterintuitive. Very counterintuitive. Like, he sees the punch coming, he knows how to react to it, and that takes a lot of years of practice. I mean, you got to put hours in the gym and sparring partners to really kind of round that skill, that ability to be counterintuitive. But I mean, he reacts well to punches. Jesus Christ, he's so counterintuitive. Oh, that this is such an underrated, quality of a boxer, but no backstepping. He doesn't step back often. I mean, I think actually throughout this whole fight, he doesn't ever step back. He doesn't retreat. He actually, when he advances, he's either going to stand in the pocket or he's going to keep coming at you, which is really a very intimidating factor for some boxers to have, is ring generalship. To be a ring general, to control the ring. If you control the ring, man, you can control majority of the fight. And no backstepping at all. So I mean, oof. Yeah, those are 4 pros that I'm gonna highlight right now. Those are 4 pros that I highlight. A very calm, very in tune with himself type of fighter, Fire Chicken. That jab is vicious. Definitely counterintuitive, very counterintuitive. And last but not least, Fire Chicken had no backstepping in this match. He did not step back any point in time. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the highlights in these moments of this fight. So yeah, let's move on. All right, here we go. We're going to highlight some cool moments in this fight that I personally liked. This definitely is one of my top favorite fights in Street Beefs boxing. But that compression shirt he's wearing is Winter Soldier. I'm a bit of a comic head, so it's very cool that he's wearing that. I think it's in alignment with his character properly. That Winter Soldier compression shirt is cool as fuck, man. I mean, I like that thing. Fuck. Oh my god. Fuck. Fuck, man. Fuck. One thing I'm going to highlight right here. He's a precisive fighter. Fire Chicken has precision. He picks his shots well. And that comes with veteranship and years of training. I mean, he's got to have some sort of formal training, because you just don't sit that calm with no smile to your face and you just pick shots, jab, hook, straight, uppercut, shovel, hook, overhand. I mean, this guy's just precise with the shots. He has precision like a motherfucker, man. Jesus. I noticed, I believe he threw every punch that you can throw as a boxer. I believe he threw a jab, a straight, lead and heavy hook. He threw uppercuts, and he threw his overhands, even shorter punches in the pocket. I think he threw every punch. I mean, that's one hell. I mean, if I had to score this fight, I mean, I believe he's winning by points as well. So, whew, yeah, he threw every. Here is he's perceptive. He threw a Superman punch, by the way. That was cool as fuck, especially wearing that shirt. But he's perceptive. He sees the shot coming. He reacts well to it. I mean, it's fucking hard. That's a hard skill to pick up. To be perceptive, I see it, I react to it. I see it, I react to it. So to see a punch down the barrel of the gun, that's cool as fuck. Fire Chicken to sniper, because he sees it coming from a mile and he knows how to set up his game plan. So from this day forward, I'm going to start calling Fire Chicken sniper. That's such a cool thing. If he gets his timing down, if he fixes his timing with focus drills, you know what I'm saying, like slip drills or like reaction drills, definitely he'll be one of Street Beef's top counter strikers in the boxing game. I mean, no doubt in my mind. About Fire Chicken is he is strategic, very strategic. I mean, he knows what he's doing in the ring, he knows what he wants to do, and he knows how he's going to do it. And I mean, to be strategic like that, it takes years and years of game planning and film study to be, setting up strategies like that. He had to have some sort of amateur boxing in his background. So, yeah, that was definitely my breakdown on this fight of Fire Chicken versus Steady Eddie. Shout out to Steady Eddie. Brother, I'm looking forward to more of your fights as well. Just as much as I'm looking forward to Fire Chicken. Shout out to the Street Beefs community, to Scarface as well, and to any aspiring fighter. as far as this fight goes, I'm gonna score this fight scale from 1 to 5. This is a solid 4, like a solid 4. Definitely up there with my top favorite fights here on Street Beefs boxing division. Fire Chicken is a very, very precise, strategic, calm fighter. I mean, that's as good as they get. I mean, I didn't know they have those kind of fighters here in Street Beefs, but that was cool to see. So a definite solid 4 out of 5. So yeah, I scored that fight. And you know, if you want me to break down your fight video, feel free to hit me up on Facebook, or you know, DM me or message me. However, you know, if you don't like my critiquing, hey, that's fine by me. You know, other than that, man, I just pray peace over each and every one of you. I know this time of quarantine is driving us crazy, but hey, we'll get back to life eventually. So with that being said, above all else, God bless.